What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about that Batman Easter egg that was found in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So let's talk about what it is and then what I think about it. This comes from Batman Arkham Videos, kind of, an OG legendary creator who, it's not surprising, honestly, that he found this or he was the one to do it. So he tweeted out, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League new Easter egg, secret message, Batman will return. Watch the full video. And what basically happens is you go around the world, and I swear, now there's no proof of this, so I guess you have to take me at my word. I swear I saw a calendar or two. I didn't really think anything of it, but I do remember seeing them. But the thing is you have to find all of them and put together the messaging. And so 12 calendars, different dates are circled, and when you translate it and decipher the code, the message is he will return. And the interesting thing, well, there's actually a few things to talk about, right? Number one, I don't think December means anything, right? December ends it, and that's the N in return, and it also has the bat symbol. Now, that's important. We'll talk about that in a second, but the simple fact that December, I think it was like December 14th or something, right? I actually don't think any of the dates mean anything, because the thing is that dates and months are just to make the code work. You know what I mean? Like, to get he will return and to, literally put letters to, these kind of things. In order to do that, you had to pick certain ones to line up. So the dates don't mean anything. In fact, I think December 14th might be a Saturday. I don't remember like the last one, but some of these dates wouldn't actually even make sense, right, to do, say, an update to the game. So that's just the first thing I wanted to throw in, that, these dates don't expect like season 1, season 2, things like that. I don't think that's what it means. It just makes the code work, and that's all that it's really used for. Now, the bat symbol obviously is important in, the N and return and putting on that December one, because that's Batman, you know what I mean? So he will return. If there's any doubt as to who he is, it's Batman, considering, the logo, okay? So in terms of my opinion on it, honestly, I like it. Now, there's a little bit more to talk about where we will bring up some things that I've said before, but I like these kind of Easter eggs, and the Arkham franchise was no stranger to doing it, right? We have these things kind of tease Arkham City before. You had an Arkham Asylum, right? And they can get pretty clever, and I'm always a fan. Like, I think it doesn't take too much work, especially this one. It's just calendars, a little code, deciphering it. Like, it's not the most in the world, but it's a cool little thing you throw in, and it can get people excited. It's a pretty important message. Now, we'll talk about, the actual message itself in a second, but it's a pretty big deal, and it's not the biggest thing in the world that they really had to do, but I think it's neat. I honestly think it's neat, and I think, obviously, they have done it before, and I've always generally been a fan of them. Now, I'll controversially say, I don't think it necessarily makes things, like, massively better, and, okay, when it's all boiled down, it really goes back to what I talked about in my video. I think I talked about, like, what happens next, right, with Suicide Squad, and what I said there, I'm going to say again here, because I think it's really important. The thing that I say that I do think is controversial, I don't think everybody likes it, and that's okay, but people that played the base game are not necessarily going to give it a chance long term. It is the big risk of doing what they did, okay? Now, you can like it. It's totally fine to like it. It's totally fine not to like it, all right? But what I said in that video is the same thing that I would say here, and honestly, this Easter egg doesn't change it, right? You could say, well, it should have been obvious that this wasn't the real Justice League, or that they would just come back, right? Because maybe it literally is the real Justice League, and they'll just be resurrected, right? But and I've said, like, okay, well, that's fine, I guess, and I can respect, like, having hints. You know what I mean? Like, having hints throughout the game, and there are hints in what is shown, what is said, and then now even, like, Easter eggs, right? I can respect that. But the issue is, not everybody's looking for that, and when you do something as divisive as you did, and in my opinion, you do it as messy as you did, I don't think they did it all that well, I think that it's asking a lot to have those people follow you through. And that's what I said in that video, right? Like, having people see this through to season 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months down the line. That is asking a lot for somebody that bought the game and was disappointed. Like, if you bought the game and you're happy, then yeah, you'll stick around. But if you bought the game and you weren't happy, you can tell them all day long that they'll fix it, or they'll, whatever, right? Some people will say they'll backtrack, but really, as we keep finding out, right, it's not backtracking. They had all this planned, right? But that doesn't excuse them. And that's kind of what I would throw in, right? That doesn't excuse what happened, and I think that's just the right of everybody who played the game. You might not see it through, to see Batman return. Now we now know Batman will return, and I do get excited about that, at least to a degree, because I do think Batman was really good in this game, and I think Kevin Conroy did a phenomenal job. And in fact, these kind of things are making me, I'm going to make a video hopefully over the weekend talking about Batman exclusively, in this game, because I think it was actually really well done, and the more I think about it, the more I like it. But it's asking a lot to see what they did to him, and if you don't like it, to have you sit there and wait months and months and months to look at a decoded message, that you may have not found yourself, you may have seen somebody else find. To have you wait for that is not what most people, honestly, it's not what most people are going to do. Most people will not see it through. And so, am I excited by this tease? Yeah. Does it, I guess, reaffirm what we already knew? Like, we already knew Batman was coming back, okay? To be honest with you, we had a very strong feeling that was going to happen. This cements it. This puts the stamp that it's going to happen, all right? So that is exciting. I do want to see what they do. I mean, I've talked about that before. I'm going to continue to see it through. I'm not a massive fan of this game, but I want to see what they do with these future seasons, right? But to expect everybody to do that is just not realistic. It just really is not. I'm sorry. They're not going to do it. I would say most people. So it's cool. I appreciate it to a degree. I like these things. They've done it before, not just them, like other games, other studios. Whenever they have these kind of cool Easter eggs, I do think they are literally cool. But it's just another thing where it's like this divided a lot of people, and I don't know if people are gonna, see it all through. And to see him actually return, not a lot of people might actually get there. So let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.